the show, and now starting with this new season, where does that leave Scott, Styles, and Allison with the darkness in their heart? How does that come into play?
They're gonna face a lot of different issues in the very first episode. Actually, you'll see that they're experiencing certain side effects from it. So it's not an easy transition. The first episode takes place just a couple weeks after the last episode. We like to keep our timeline compressed on a Teen Wolf. It's a little bit like The Simpsons, where Bart is always going to be in fourth grade. So it's a way to stave off the college years. We're not exactly sure how to do the college years, so we're going to keep them in high school as long as humanly possible. But you'll see the characters really dealing with an aftermath, and I think it'll be interesting. So I think it'll be a good psychological thriller, we're calling it.
And on top of that, Scott has to deal with the fact that he's now a true alpha. How does he deal with this?
Well, bringing up the question of what is his pack, and one of the things we like about the show is the idea of a pack is kind of the idea of creating a different family, a new family. I mean, we write about a lot of kids of single-parent families, so we like to explore the idea of what does it mean to have your group of friends in high school, and we try to really stay away from actually who are the popular kids, because I think that's something the world is sort of shifting away from. I mean, any kid these days can have his level of popularity or his level of esteem, and it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to mean that you're part of the it crowd, you know? So he's going to be trying to find out where his place is and what his pack is and how to be a leader and how to deal with more life-threatening issues.
Can you tease a little bit of who might be part of the pack?
A little bit of what?
Who might be part of the pack?
I can, yes. The one interesting thing about Scott as an alpha is his pack is made up of humans as well as the supernatural. Like, you could easily say like Allison, Styles, Lydia, and Isaac, and the question arises in the first few episodes: can the twins be part of the pack? You know, what do they have to do to redeem themselves to be part of Scott's troop? You know, so. It was always that way. I mean, he says in one of the later lines in 312 in Lunar Eclipse, Deucalion says to him, "Who do you think's going to save you? Your friends?" And he says, "My pack." So, and that's very much it for us. That your friends are your pack in high school.
Speaking of pack, what happens with Derek? How does he fit into this new sort of world?
Derek is, well, you don't know where Derek is in the first episode, and he has been off doing something. He's off on a separate mission, but he comes back into the fold, and it's actually 3B, our winter season, does question what is Derek's role now in Beacon Hills and what is his place, and he's very much searching for that himself. So he realized he's doesn't make the best alpha in the world, doesn't make the best leader in the world, so what does he do? And it's a lot of that questioning.
And Deucalion was left alive. Will he make a reappearance, and if so, in what form?
I don't know if you're going to see him this season, but we wanted to leave the door open to bring him back. Part of the reason is you find certain actors that you love, and you're like, well, if we kill them off, we can't use them anymore. And we struggle with the Haley Webb question all the time. Why did we kill her off? She was so good, and could we have used her more? But part of you as a storyteller wants to close the chapter on a story and start anew. So whether he comes back or not, I feel like he's a really good antagonist. So part of the idea is leaving yourself open to bring back antagonists, very strong antagonists, who have a different philosophy than our main characters. So there's a possibility he could come back. We'll see.
Speaking of antagonists, I heard that there's a new big bad this second half of the season. Can you talk about?
Yes, it has the new villain of the season, or the new villains, because we always like to create a number of antagonists against our heroes. Have to do with the Japanese myth of the kitsune, the trickster spirit. It's a Japanese shapeshifter, and there's great legend to it, and many different stories and fables that we draw from. I think it'll be really fun. I'm not going to say too much about it because there are numerous surprises in store, but I'm hoping the audience likes it. I'm hoping the fans like it.
Good. And now that Lydia knows about her Banshee power, how is she gonna work with that? How is that gonna affect her, and is she gonna look into it?
Well, this season is going to be about her finding her power and using it. She and Scott have this great moment together. It was really nice to see Holland and Tyler acting together, just the two of them, where she says, if I could just figure out how to use this, then maybe someone like you can get there in time to keep someone from dying instead of me just showing up to find the bodies. And that's what we're going to see with Holland, with Lydia, his character. We're going to see her using her power, and we're going to see her mastering it in a certain way. But that's a long road.
And I have to ask about the romance aspect of the show. There's a lot of, will Lydia and Styles happen? What about Allison and Isaac and Scott? Can you tease anything about those couples?
I would say that Allison and Isaac are definitely an evolving situation, and how Scott gets in between that is part of the first few episodes. Lydia and Aiden as well, but there are deep issues, which is with Lydia and Aiden, it's the fact that Aiden and Ethan were not the greatest guys in the last season and did some pretty horrible things. And how did they redeem themselves for that? And how does Lydia find someone who is worthy of her love, who is worthy to be with her? And Aiden's going to question whether he's that guy, and Lydia's going to question as well. So we see some evolving relationships, definitely.
All right, and my last question for you will be, do you have a message for the fans as they get ready for this new, second part of the season?
Prepare to lose someone. We will be possibly changing our main title sequence, so not everyone's going to make it out of this season alive.
Oh, that is an evil tease. Evil.
Yes.